Well, it seems to be a trend in the bicycle industry these days. What was old is once new again, yeah?
Can be new.
Yeah. Let's get on topic. Hey everybody, it's Thomas with Get Out Arizona, and today you are watching another fabulous episode of Bike Showcase on Toolbox Topic. I'm joined once again by my co-host Brandon Van Leuven. Brandon, how the hell are you?
I'm swell.
Yeah. And once again, we're at the Trek Bicycle Store of West Phoenix in Goodyear, Arizona, because it's where the cool kids hang out, and me, as always. And today I'm super excited. We've been wanting to do a video like this for a while. We've actually talked about building up a bike and everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe we'll have to turn this to somewhat of a regular series here on Toolbox Topic. But we are going to talk about this 1992 Specialized Stumpjumper that's been resurrected and turned into a gravel bike.
Yeah.
All right, compliments of my great friend Rob Depolis. And Riding Milford blog, which I'm going to have the link for down below. We'll talk more about that. That I acquired this past September when I went to cover the Tour de Force, which we'll talk a little bit more about that. And when I saw it, I knew I had to have it. Okay. And yes, Brandon, let's talk a little bit about the trend, though. I mean, you were telling me about a website that's dedicated to bikes like this, where it's, you know, they're taking old bikes and restoring them and repurposing them.
If you want to have fun, go down the rabbit hole at bikerebuilds.com.
Link will be down below.
It's still up. I don't think that they're still currently posting things. Is it possible where the website can just be working, but no one's really manning it?
Yeah.
I think that's what's going on with it right now, because I don't see anything new going up on there. But if you grew up riding mountain bikes in the late 80s, 90s, you're going to love this site, because you're going to see all these old bikes. You're like, I remember this paint job. I remember this bike. I remember wanting this bike.
Yep.
And what people are doing is just like this. They're getting those older bikes, because honestly, now 30 years down the road, those bikes suck to ride off-road. They're absolutely horrible.
They do.
So now have some fun with it.
Yep.
Repurpose that bike. Like I have that 92 Breezer Thunder that I repurposed and now it's my cruiser kind of bar bike, kind of downtown bike, which is really, really fun. And I didn't ride it for like 15 years because 2.9ers had come out, the bikes had gotten so much better, everything was so much better that it was, again, unrideable. Now, it's probably the bike I ride the most.
Yeah. So, and that's probably, this to me equals fun. This is just a fun day.
It's super fun.
Fun, chilled day, relaxed, you know, get some snacks in the bag, care less about time or anything like that. You're just out to have a good time.
And my heart's behind this bike because I had this exact 92 Stumpjumper.
Nice.
It was black with red graphics on it. And that was my first bike with all Shimano components on it. So I was super stoked. I had a full DX component group on it. I don't know which version this frame was, because they had so many versions of the Stumpjumper steel. So, but the frame was the same.
Right.
And so I look at little things like the little cable guides here. It's like, oh, God, I remember this so well. So super fun. I dig it.
A lot of fun. And this is a steel frame for those who are wondering. It's not chromoly. It's not aluminum or anything like that. This is about as old school as you can get as far as that goes.
Yep.
Now,
and may I add before we go further, so a few years before this, I had a Specialized Hard Rock, which was my first mountain bike.
Yeah.
Definitely a few levels down. It was a hard rock, but my first introduction to mountain biking. And that year,
no wonder he doesn't
I think it was 88 or 89, there was a bike that was 30 years ahead of its time. It's called the Rock Combo. And it was essentially this bike.
Okay.
They had, and I don't think it was wildly unpopular, because again, it was ahead of its time.
Okay.
But literally about a month ago, a Rock Combo came in the store, the first time I've ever seen in real life.
Nice.
And it's essentially, they did this. It was this bike, but the original version in 88, 89, around there.
Nice.
So this reminds me of a Rock Combo, and I think everybody that came in here and saw this bike sitting in the rock, like, is this a Rock Combo? It's like, no, it's a little bit later, but it's kind of
what it was,
doing what that Rock Combo was getting after.
It's like Mother Love Bone. It's what Pearl Jam came from. You know, in case you guys know, a little grunge 90s rock there for you. Joking, guys, but seriously, Mother Love Bone was awesome. So yes, and you're absolutely right. Bikes like that, it'd be interesting. Like if I found like an old Trek 7000 because that was my first introduction to mountain biking out of the gate. You know, I went big with that aluminum frame, and it was a higher end, and it had XT components on it, still thumb shifters on the top.
Of course,
you know. But it was a great, fun bike. Now, some things that we run into when we're restoring older bikes. One, paint. Rob did an amazing job on this paint job. We've got the orange, we've got the blue fleck, and in case you're wondering, this bike already has a name. I named it the moment I saw it. Its name is Judy, AKA Judy Hopps from the movie Zootopia, because the orange reminded me of carrots, and her nickname's Carrots in the movie. What do you want from me, guys? All right, come on. We've had this conversation before. Rogue Panda will make a bag for me. It'll be embroidered right there and everything. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that'll be cool. I think you did a great job on this paint.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Super, super good job.
I don't think the stickers were going to last very long, though.
Probably not.
But maybe you can get you another sticker kit for it, because they'll probably come off a little. But
they think they're under the clear coat, actually, the stickers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so they might have a little bit of protection.
All right, good.
So we'll see what happens there.
But I think it's a consistent paint job. I like how it's throwback with the splatter paint.
Oh, absolutely.
I dig it.
It's so retro. It's like seeing somebody with a friggin' biomechanical tattoo. It's like, oh, you're from the 90s. Joking, guys, joking. Now, we'll start from front to back like we do with a lot of the bike showcases and everything. And let's start with the wheel set. We got skewers. Obviously, there was no through axles.
There was no through axles.
No
back
boosted
then.
spacing or
Nothing
anything like that.
It's a better time, simpler time.
And these are Panaracers, and this is what, a 27-inch?
26.
26.
26s.
So, yep. And these have tubes. Now, guys, I know what you're thinking. Thomas, are you riding a tubed bike? Yes, mother effers, I am. Because you cannot get tubeless ready rims in a 26.
You can.
Okay.
You can.
So,
but I get it. You don't need that for this bike.
No,
it's not
you
that
don't.
kind of bike. So
It's really not.
Let's keep the price down. Everything on this bike is brand new, it looks like, or at least close to brand new.
Close darn to it. We got a Shimano hub set. Now, on the rear, I think this is a 9-speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how many teeth this is. I'll count them up and put a little banner and everything like that. But compared to what we see today, with the 52 from SRAM, this is tiny.
Yep, that's probably the best you could fit inside this old frame.
Yeah,
exactly. 130 mil frame, spaced frame.
We're keeping that in mind. Now, up front, and Brandon told me that everybody in the shop wanted to hate this bike, but they couldn't. They absolutely love it. See, Rob, you did a good job. Is the shock. I love the fact that it has a RockShox 100 millimeter travel fork on here, and it's something that I wanted to put on the 920. But they don't make one for the 920 because, you know, it's Trek.
Got it.
But I think that's going to be great to kind of smooth out some of the bumpiness on the ride. Brandon, your thoughts on that?
So the one thing that I would prefer on this, I think everything is fine. I could live with everything. But to have that old rigid fork on here, that would have kept the geometry the same and, I don't know, I guess kept the bike a little... It's not, nothing's original on it, but it would have just kept things...
More nostalgic.
I guess so.
Okay.
I guess so.
I get it.
And I think the bike, for how it's set up, I mean, I think 100 mils is a lot, but strictly aesthetically speaking, I think a rigid fork would have looked a little bit nicer on here, that's all.
Yeah. Coming from a guy who has a white bike seat.
Aesthetically speaking, it's beautiful.
Right? It reminds me of vacation every time. Got to turn the other light on, guys, because I was too lazy to set up the big light today. I like the shock, and again, that's personal preference. When you're doing a build like this, this is your canvas. You're the artist. You can free to paint how you want to. Let's talk about now. We have the brakes. These are all mechanical V-pull brakes, which are pretty cool. I haven't seen these in quite some time. We did a short,
and that is another reason why a normal. That's another reason why it would have been cool to have a rigid fork, so you could match the cantilever brakes on there. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would
now we have a V-brake in front, so the stopping power is going to be better, but again, just keeping everything a little
consistent.
More consistent and a little more nostalgic would have been cool.
And if we come up to the handlebar, the cockpit area, that is the cowbell. Who makes they do like the bags and stuff like that. No, it's a Salsa. It's a Salsa cowbell.
Oh, like
bar.
the wood chippers and stuff?
Yeah. So it's a Salsa Bar, which I do like that flare. When I rode it in upstate New York there for the tour, I really liked the way that felt.
I'm still not used to these bars. modern bikes, old bikes. I'm
Right.
still not used to that feel when you're in the hoods.
Yeah.
That they go in like that.
Bit canted.
I do like a little bit of flare on the drop, but
How much flare do you have?
about 30 pieces. Still not enough.
Still not enough.
But yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's great. It's just that, again, personal preference. I'm just not used to this
The canted out.
this trend in those new these new gravel bike bars at all.
Right. Now, I haven't really had a chance to ride this bike. I'm almost thinking that stance is too narrow. You guys know I ride with a wider stance. So if anything, I would replace that drop bar with the identical drop bar, just wider. But time will tell on that one.
For sure.
And, you know, and we're talking about bars and bar replacement. When we do the replacement, we'll do a video, and then I'll have Brandon do his expert taping job on here. Because, Rob, I love you, dude. Everything else on this bike is perfect, but that tape job, stop drinking when you tape the handlebars, man. Seriously. Joking. It's not that bad, but still. And, like, everything was perfect, and then it's just like, dude, what happened there? So, but it is what it is. We all have our little things. But seriously, Rob, I love you to death. Now, as far as the shifters and the derailleur, it's made by a company called Advent.
Yeah.
I've never heard of them. Brandon, do you know anything about that company?
I do. I have seen them. They're coming up a little bit. It is a budget groups or grupo, but
Okay.
I was pleasantly surprised on how nice it feels. It's a light action going to the low gears. The brakes feel snappy, especially that cantilever feels super firm and snappy when you depress the brake lever.
Right.
The one thing about it is it's got a good action, but it's not. It makes you drive it a little bit.
Right.
Where if you've had a high-end Shimano, the funny thing is the more money you pay, supposedly like the better rider you are, but the easier they make it for you to shift.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it. Click, it's in. Click, it's in.
Yep.
And this one, you do have to drive it a little bit because I noticed when I was test riding it around, like it would miss a shift, but it was my fault.
Gotcha.
Because I wasn't thinking about it. I was
Driving.
kind of driving it sloppily,
Right.
shall we say. So, you know, with a little bit of maybe practice, it works. For what this is, it works just fine.
Yep.
It's perfect. It's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I do love the classic brown
Yeah.
action on the seat and on the handlebars. I think
And
it
then with
really
the sidewalls as well.
Sets it off. Ritchie headset, which is cool. Again, throwback, although Ritchie's still making parts and everything like that, but it's cool to see. And then, you know, as far as like the accessory pieces and stuff like that, you know, he's got the water bottle cages to match.
Yeah.
Everything on here.
Let's look at these guys.
Oh yeah,
the Z cranks. I wonder if he just had those like laying around and was not using them.
Again, this is something I've never heard of, and we got these pedals, dude. Check out these.
Z is made by
pedals.
Shimano.
Okay.
So you had Saint.
Okay.
And just under Saint for downhill stuff, you had Z.
Okay.
So that's a pretty beefy
Crankset?
Beefy crankset.
Okay.
For this bike. So I wonder if he just had it and like I'm not going to sell this because it wasn't a very popular crankset, and you just threw it on here, which is part of what this is. You have parts laying around and
A little bit of a Frankenstein action.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
It's cool.
And I'm gonna ride it with the pedals on here, with these pedals on here, and I want them to work. I want to love them. If for whatever reason I can't, then I'll order a set, and I will do something that aesthetically matches the bike. So I'll either try to find like a blue or an orange if I can. If not, I'll just go straight black so everything stays in line.
Yeah.
And then of course we have a rigid seat post. There's no dropper here. I'm not gonna run an external dropper, guys. I know, sorry to disappoint you on that. Although it would be interesting to do something from P&W on that. I think this bike is really just gonna be the chill, again, just riding it around. I do want Rogue Panda to make a bag for me.
That would be nice. That would
you
be
know,
cool.
Have some snacks in there and stuff like that, and the extra tube and stuff, and yeah, just hit the canals and just have a good day, man. I got a day to kill, and I'm just gonna go out, maybe take one of just my fixed lens cameras or a film camera or something, and do some photography on the canal. This is the bike for that, absolutely. And I know you guys, you're like, oh, Thomas, what are you gonna upgrade first on that? Nothing. I plan on just riding this bike until I know what needs to change, bike width or anything like that, maybe pedals and stuff. And then, yeah, just love it for what it is.
Yep.
You know, I'm not, I know I forgot to silence my phone. It's in my pocket. So what are you going to do?
Unprofessional.
I know. It's freaking amateur night. Is this your first day working here? We're just having that
It's our
conversation.
first day.
This is the first day working here. Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Lord have mercy.
Jesus.
I'm telling you. Again, spam text messages. It's as bad as spam phone calls. So, Brandon, is there anything that you want to add about this before we go?
This is the most fun I have now doing this. Honestly, I'm not impressed by $13,000 Pinarellos anymore. $11,000 P1, that's fine.
Right.
This is what gets me going. This is what's fun. I love to have an old 850 Antelope come in here, you know, from 1980s, yeah. And they, you know, the customer's ready to do, like, make it new. Like, all right, I want this project.
Right.
This is for me. I love that stuff, making these bikes new again. So this was a good segment. This is cool. I don't know, I guess I'm turning into a little bit of a retro grouch, but putting these things back together, and when you get them back together again, they ride so nice.
They do. They
you
really
forget
do.
They're so much fun and so nice. So, you know, go out there, dust off your old bike, see what they're looking like, and
that's what I'm looking forward to on this one. Just to friggin' really, and I don't know if I mentioned or not, it's got pan erasers on here. I love these
great tires.
Walls.
I have that. I have those exact tires in black wall on my Breezer.
Yeah,
they're fantastic.
So there's everything to love about this and nothing to hate. And that's the great thing. And you're right. It's like restoring a classic vehicle, you know, and you make it your own, little tweaks here and there. And
you don't have to be pretentious on it at all, because who gives a shit? It's just an old-ass bike.
So, but most of those guys are roadie. No, I'm joking. They're not roadies. So they're mountain bikers these days.
So, yeah, it's cool. Go have fun on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't wait. And I'll of course keep you guys updated and everything like that. And then I'll do a review. After I've logged, you know, a couple, 200-300 miles on this thing, I'll do a review. And before we finish out, I do want to give a big thanks to Rob. Again, love you, buddy.
Nice work.
This was the 5th bike that he's built. He's on to his next project. Maybe we'll feature his next one when it's finished on the show as well. I'm going to have links for him down below to his Riding Milford blog. Now, again, talk about retro. He takes photographs and he writes. There's no video. But he's an exceptional writer and his photos are very poignant. So I would really like you to go check that out, follow him, show him some love. And there is going to be a link down below also to the Tour de Force, which is something near and dear to my heart. This was the 7th year I've covered it. Next year will be year number 8. We'll be talking more about that here in the coming months when we actually open up the doors for donations for this group. Super great group of men and women who leave it all out on the road, 300 miles over 4 days for a really great cause, which we'll talk about in the future. So, on that note, my friends, like, subscribe, bell notification. If you've liked the video, like the channel, it's the trifecta we love so much here. There's going to be links down below. Check Bicycle Store of West Phoenix here in Goodyear, Arizona. Once again, if you have any questions about today's video, any of the other videos that we showed, give Brandon and his guys a call. They'll be more than happy to help you out. I guarantee it's not their first day on the job. And, you know, if you want to see another video like this about retro builds and stuff like that, let us know. We had been talking about this again for a couple months before this one kind of fell into our lap, so we're really excited about it. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. It's the devil's work. It's the other trifecta we love, not maybe love, but need here at Get Out Arizona. Follow us, group rides, group hikes. It's a whole lot of fun. Keep on the day-to-day of Get Out Arizona. The other links are affiliate links. You make a qualifying purchase. We receive a small commission. Helps out with park passes, gas money, and coffee money, which is important these days. But you won't be charged anything extra, so it's great. It's a win-win for everybody involved. So on that note, my friends, what do we always say? Be kind to yourself and others. Be amazing stewards on that trail. Seriously. And we have to ask, what are you waiting for?
Get Out Arizona.
Goddamn right. We will see you on that next adventure. Take care, everybody. Brandon, have a great week.